to make sure we are online and you can hear the sound, if possible, because I don't want to broadcast in something without any sound. I did that before, just a movie, no sound. That's terrible. And yeah, so I think the picture is up, and I just need to make sure if I can hear the sound. And how I can get my YouTube today?
I can hear sound.
You can hear sound? Cool. All right.
A little bit. A couple of minutes.
Check. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is not like the super real time. All right, so thanks for coming, people. I appreciate if you can have a seat, please, and just bring the food if you need, and just bring your drink as well. All right, so this is the 30th Azure Tokyo Meetup, and today we have two speakers. One talking about the Azure Network. Who is excited about network? Not me. But network is very important anyway, right? And the another one, the Terreform. So if you want to automate everything, Terreform or the ARM. So I don't have any argument which is better or not, but many people are using Terreform, and I'm really looking for this presentation today so that I can study all about Terreform. But before starting, I have several announcements, as usual. All right, the first one, we will have the Ignite. So Ignite will be next week, I guess. Is that the following week? Yeah. Next Monday, at Orlando, Florida. And if you're not joining, that's okay. But we also have the Japanese edition of the Ignite Tour in Tokyo, December, and Osaka, January. So if you're interested in joining, because you are in Japan or because you would like to study Japanese, by the way, some of the session will be in English anyway. So please feel free to join. And when I say feel free to join, it's free to join anyway. And I'll be a speaker in Osaka, not Tokyo. So if you have a friend near Osaka, please ask them to join. Not because it's free, but also we provide a bunch of the information. All right, so that's the one news. And another news is an update of this month or this week or today of the Azure update. So as I always say, Azure have so many updates so that I cannot announce every month. So just go into the Azure updates, just open the browser, just go into the bean.com and just type Azure updates. And you have all the updates. And I just let you know how to use this one. So going to this page, if you have some product in your mind, like the Kubernetes, just type like the Kubernetes to try to find, and you can do the filter. So which one is the Kubernetes? The first one, AKS. So if I'm interested in AKS, which I do, then I see all the update of the Kubernetes. And this also including the preview feature, not only the GA feature. So this is a great resource to find out what is going on. And because we have the Ignite next week, I expect so many updates after the week. All right, so that's everything from me. And I would like to welcome the first speaker of today. And could you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everyone.
Why are you guys standing up?
I'm Masaki. I'm at Microsoft Japan. And today, I'm going to provide a presentation about Azure Fundamental Networking Services. And before the presentation, let me introduce about myself. I'm at Microsoft Japan since April 2018. And I work as a support engineer supporting Azure iOS networking services. Specifically, the following things are what I'm supporting: Azure Virtual Network, Azure VPN Gateway, Azure Express Route, etc. And so let me start my presentation. So today, as an objective, I introduce Azure iOS networking services to you, and as an example, how to connect on-premise network to Azure Network via VPN connection. And the goal today is to understand which products are included in Azure IaaS networking services and to display how we can create VPN connection between on-premises and Azure Network in Azure portal. So that's why this is agenda today. First, I explained what Azure IaaS networking is briefly, and I will introduce some Azure IaaS networking services. And finally, I will show how to create IPsec VPN between the on-premise and Azure Network. So in this slide, as you may know, let me explain where Azure IaaS networking service is positioned in whole Azure services. Azure provides three cloud service models. First is SaaS, which are Office 365 and Dynamics 365 and SharePoint and so on. And second is PaaS, Platform as a Service, which are including web apps, app services, and Azure Functions, and etc. And finally, IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service, are the storage or virtual machines or Azure networking, and so on. And I support the networking area. And you might think the area is very small, but actually this has a wide variety of services in the Azure networking area. For example, we provide a virtual network security group, Azure Load Balancer, blah, blah, blah. So today we can quickly go through these things. And let me discuss VPN and express route as a final topic. First topic is about virtual network, which is the service you can create your private network on Azure. If you want to use Azure IaaS services, basically you create a virtual network at first, and then you deploy virtual machine or Azure Firewall or Azure Virtual Network Gateway on the virtual network you created. So it means this is one of the most basic things on Azure IaaS. The feature, if you create multiple virtual networks in the same account, these are independent by default. So if you want to connect across different networks, you use virtual network peering. Virtual network peering enables us to create virtual connection wherever you want, which means you don't need an additional resource. All you need is only two different virtual networks. And the next topic is about network security group, which is a layer 3 and layer 4 filtering service on Azure. And you can associate NSG or network security group to NIC, network interface card of virtual machine, and subnet of virtual network to filter network traffic using IP address and a port. So this is like TCP or UDP filter. And in NSG, you can use service tag, which represents a group of IP address prefixes. For example, app service tag denotes the address prefixes of the app service, or Azure Cosmos DB type denotes the address prefixes of the Azure Cosmos DB. So you can allow the access to Azure Cosmos DB in a specific region. What is important is NSG is stateful service, which means NSG works for only first packet of a session, especially SYN packet. So if you specify an outbound security rule, it's not necessary to specify inbound security rule for the response to the outbound traffic. And this figure means NSG, which is associated to NIC of the Boolean blocks the traffic, RDP traffic from the internet, but allow HTTP traffic from the internet. But this NSG allows access from the virtual machine traffic on same network. Next, let me explain Azure load balancer, which is a layer 3 and layer 4 load balancing service. This is a hash-based software load balancer and can use the 5 tuples, which are source IP address, source port, destination IP address, destination port, and protocol number. And you can achieve load balancing with low cost on Azure. For example, if you choose basic load balancer, it's free. And this is a basic function on Azure. So almost applications, for example, PaaS and SaaS and etc., are using Azure load balancer internally. Whereas application gateway is a layer 7 load balancing service, and it also provides web application firewall. Most of the traffic all over the world are HTTP or HTTPS, so many users are using application gateway, that is HTTP load balancer. So it is one of the most popular components on Azure IaaS services. In addition to this, this provides WAF service to block malicious attacks that exploit commonly known as vulnerabilities, such as insecure injection, cross-site scripting attack, etc. And cookie-based session control is useful when you want to keep a user session on the same server. By using gateway managed cookies, the application gateway can direct subsequent traffic from the user session to the same server for processing. And next is Traffic Manager. Traffic Manager is DNS-based traffic load balancer. So this enables us to distribute traffic across global regions, for example, Japan East region and Japan West region. So when the failure of an entire Azure region occurs, Traffic Manager is resilient to it. And in Traffic Manager, client can access backend server directly. This means client does not access backend server via Traffic Manager, so it cannot be a bottleneck. And you can choose various load balancing options such as priority, performance, geographic, like that. Let me explain the mechanism briefly. First, a client sends a DNS query to the DNS server, and sends DNS query to the Traffic Manager instance. which are located in the global region. And then the traffic manager checks the health status of the backend servers. For example, in this case, this is a healthy instance, this is unhealthy backend server, and this is healthy, and this is healthy. And then the traffic manager decides the target backend server, considering with available load balancing option. For example, in this case, this backend server has the highest priority. That's why traffic manager decides decides this backend server as target backend server. So that's why traffic manager respond to the DNS server, DNS record, such as A record and CNAME record, and then DNS server respond to client DNS record. So finally, clients can access to the target backend server directly. This is the mechanism of traffic manager. Yes.
Do you still use Traffic Manager with the web application firewall?
So in almost cases.
Do you mind repeat the question for the online?
Okay. Sorry. Could you speak again?
So do you use can you use the Traffic Manager and then the web application firewall?
Like for your question. Yes, you can do it. So, in the almost cases, customer uses traffic manager and application gateway, which I described before. So, yeah, you can use the web application firewall and traffic manager. Okay. Next topic is about virtual network gateway. This is a virtualized gateway to connect on-premise network. And in Azure, there are two types of gateways. One is IPsec VPN gateway, and second is Express Route gateway. IPsec VPN is going through the internet, but Express Route is going through the dedicated network or closed network. So let me explain from next slide. In IPsec VPN, you connect network with traffic encryption via public internet. It means the traffic is encrypted at on-premise VPN device or Azure VPN gateway and decrypted at the opposite side. Compared with Express Route, IPsec VPN has two advantages. First is the cost. That we build an IPsec service with lower cost than Express Route. And second advantage is quick delivery. You can use an IPsec VPN once you deploy and configure. But other disadvantages, it needs encryption or decryption process. So overhead occurs at gateways, and this uses public network, so it is affected by internet condition. Whereas Express Route provides you a high quality direct connection to on-premise network via dedicated network. Dedicated network means a closed network, so you can access to Azure resource, not through public network. So as an advantageous compared to IPsec VPN, Express Route has stable and secure connection because this is not affected by internet traffic and provides you high bandwidth such as 100 gigabit per second. Instead, it is a higher cost, which includes even other providers' cost. So it takes a few weeks or a few months to create Express Route completely. It is a disadvantage. So let me clear out difference IPsec VPN and ExpressRoute. As you see, an advantage of IPsec VPN are lower cost and quick delivery, but as an disadvantages is overhead due to encryption and decryption processing, and latency and stability, because this uses public internet, so it's affected by other network traffic on the internet. On the other hand, ExpressRoute has stable and secure connection and high bandwidth, like 100 gigabit per second, compared to IPsec VPN. But ExpressRoute has a really high cost, so many users are using IPsec VPN to create a connection between on-premise network to Azure Virtual Network. So that's why let me discuss IPsec VPN on Azure and show you how to use it in Azure portal. When we want to use IPsec VPN, we need to follow these steps. First, we create a virtual network gateway for IPsec VPN, and then we create local network gateway, which is a resource to store the parameter of on-premise VPN devices, such as on-premises public IP address and on-premise network address prefix. And then we create the connection resource to connect the Azure VPN gateway to on-premise local on-premise VPN device. And the fourth, we need to configure on-premise VPN device to connect Azure Network. And finally, we check the connection, we check the connectivity. So I will provide you the image to see easily. First, in Azure portal, you choose all services and networking and virtual network gateways, and you create virtual network gateway. And you need to input some parameters, for example, subscription, which means a target subscription, where you want to create virtual network gateway. And the name is, you can input any name. And then the region is, you need to choose the same region as the virtual network region you created. And the gateway type is VPN. If you want to use ExpressRoute, you can choose ExpressRoute as virtual gateway type. And SKU is, you can choose SKUs. SKU means VPN gateway spec, for example, CPU or number of instances or like that. And virtual network means virtual network gateway deployed. So you choose a target virtual network, and then the gateway subnet address range. But I will recommend you choose 27 or shorter address prefixes, because if we want to use ExpressRoute gateway and VPN gateway on the same network, we need 27 address prefixes. So that's why if we recommend you use 27 or shorter address prefixes as a gateway subnet. And the public IP address is we create new, and public IP address queue is basic. And here I disable the active mode and configure BGP. But if you want to use them, you have to disable this option.
So basically, for this step one, you are creating the device on the Azure side, right?
No,
Or for this on-premise side, what we are creating here is that like VM?
yes, this is like VM. Yes, so but we don't need to create virtual network gateway at first.
But this is creating the virtual network.
This is creating a virtual network gateway. Yes. Also, you need to virtual network. You need to create virtual network.
And when you say virtual network gateway, it's like the processing computing
Yes, yes,
on the Azure side,
yes.
not on-premise side.
Not on-premise. Virtual network gateway is like a virtual machine, which includes a software router. And next, we create local network gateway, which is a resource to store parameters of on-premise VPN device. So you input VPN device's public IP address and on-premise address prefix in local network gateway. For example, this is a local network gateway settings in Azure portal. This IP address means the public IP address of on-premise VPN device. So if you create a connection between the Azure VPN gateway and local network gateway, Azure VPN gateway try to connect to this IP address. That's why you need to input on-premise VPN device's public IP address as IP address in local network gateway. And address space means on-premise private address space. And you need to confirm that address space, on-premise address space is not overlapped with Azure Network address prefix. And then the VGP setting is not required. And the location is, you choose any locations.
And sorry again, for this one is for on-premise side.
This is
That's the second step.
concept is this is
Yeah, if you go back, it's third step. Sorry, if you go back to the second step. So this is a local network gateway, meaning on-premise side.
this is how can I say we create a local network gateway on the Azure portal,
Okay.
and this is in the but for example, VPN gate we want to create a IPsec VPN. We need to input on-premise setting, on-premise parameter, because the VPN gateway try to connect to on-premise VPN device. And local network gateway is on-premise parameter. So,
So this is still on Azure.
yes, this is still on Azure.
And is this computing or this is just metadata?
Yes, this is just a metadata.
So this is just metadata.
Yes, this is not virtual machine or like that. And next, we create a connection resource. This means the association between the VPN gateway and local network gateway. So we choose a connection type. We input site to site, which means IPsec as connection type. And if you want to use express route, you need to choose express route. And the location is where VPN gateway located in. And virtual network gateway is VPN gateway you created. And local network gateway is local network gateway you created. And so if we create the connection resource, VPN virtual network gateway try to connect to the local network gateway's metadata. And we need to input the pre-shared key, like a password. And we have to use the same password on the on-premise VPN device, on the on-premise side. These steps are on Azure side. And then we need to configure on-premise VPN device. This is on the on-premise side. So we need to configure the physical VPN device. So it depends on the VPN device you have chosen. So that's why let me explain really briefly. We provide the guideline for the validated VPN device in the official document. For example, Cisco or FortiGate or the networks. So if you use a validated VPN device, you can use guidelines to set up VPN devices. For example, this is a FortiGate guideline. So you use a guideline to set up FortiGate VPN device. For example, this is a UI of FortiGate. So it makes us to set up really easily. And you have to use the same pre-shared key you choose in the Azure portal. Finally, we check the connection. If we create the IPsec VPN in the Azure portal, we can see the connected as a status. If the status is connected, you can succeed to create IPsec VPN. And total configuration takes less than 1 hour, so it's really few cost than the express route. So the summary today, the presentation, I explained what Azure IaaS networking, which is a basic services, essential components for Azure infrastructure. And I introduced some Azure IaaS networking services, for example, Azure Load Balancer, Application Gateway, and Traffic Manager, and etc. And I showed how to create IPsec VPN between the on-premise network to Azure Virtual Network, which is a quick and easy configuration. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yes, but I have so many questions. So the first question is, so could you go back to step 1? And if you guys have a question, please feel free to say anything.
Actually, one quick one.
Yeah.
How long would you expect ExpressRoute to take?
ExpressRoute?
Yeah.
To configure? So how many days or how many weeks we expect to complete the ExpressRoute configuration?
Yeah, if I already have the internet service
It's
provider.
already 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yes, few weeks.
Yeah.
Basically, few weeks.
Not
2
days, weeks,
Okay.
or even month.
But once you have the service provider and that information and the configuration just to connect, for example, Equinix
Yes.
to Azure through ExpressRoute.
Do you have
So the
the,
configuration steps, because you mentioned this would take about 1 hour
yeah.
to do,
Mm.
but is ExpressRoute like 2 hours, 3 hours once you have all?
It's more like the contract part, not the right configuration. Configuration should be pretty quick.
Yes, configuration itself is pretty quick,
Yeah.
but we have to wait for the finishing of providers.
Okay. Yeah, we set it up recently, but
Yeah, that's cool.
our guys were on a phone call for 5
Yeah.
hours. So I was wondering if they got the configuration
okay.
steps wrong.
Right. So for my question here is we have the on-premise VNet and we have the Azure VNet, right? And we want to connect to each other.
Yeah.
To do that, we have two devices each side to encrypt and decrypt the connection, right?
Yeah, right.
And we are creating the virtual machine
Yes.
on the other side as a gateway. That's step one, right?
Yes.
Even though we are not saying virtual machine, this is just a virtual machine, right?
Yeah.
And if you go to step two, we are just creating the local network gateway, which is not local, but it is metadata, so
Yeah.
that Azure can talk into when it go into the local network, right, in the future.
Oh, yeah.
So this is just metadata. It's okay. And if we go into the number three, this is a connection between the Azure gateway and local gateway, which is not a local, but which is on Azure. So everything happening in Azure at this moment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then my question is the number four. In number four, you said we need to configure on-premise VPN device. Can we use in another Windows server as a VPN device, or do we have to buy one of these?
On Azure side?
On the on-premise side, I don't want to buy this router, but I have Windows server.
Oh.
Can I use Windows server as a router? Or it's not supported?
I've never heard it.
Okay. Yeah, because in my apartment, I have a VPN, right? And I want to connect into there, but I don't want to buy the physical router.
But we also provide the point-to-site VPN.
A point-to-site, okay. So we have to use the point-to-site.
Yes,
So point-to-site is also kind of VPN to VPN.
No, yeah, yes. For example, this computer to Azure Virtual Network Gateway.
Yeah, but this computer connecting to the Azure, but how about my another computer in my local net? We have to create another point-to-site, each computer, or we can just have one computer point-to-site and make the entire VNet connecting to the
I
Azure.
see. But I think it's not supported. But
Okay, so
yeah.
we need to have the device.
Yes.
All right, and another question is, if we have express route versus if I'm using the IPsec site-to-site VPN, from the computer point of view, inside VNet, is there any difference? It's just a matter of the speed?
Speed?
I mean, what's the
mean?
difference? Is there any difference from the computer inside the VNet?
Oh, yes. Because inside VNet, the traffic is not through the VPN gateway.
Yeah, but the computer doesn't care, right? Administrator cares, but the computer doesn't care, right? So the computer in the local VNet can talk into the Azure VNet computer, regardless express route or IPsec. Is there any difference from the computer point of view?
You mean the environment using two or both of them?
No, either. So let me clarify. I have my computer here.
Yeah.
This is local VNet. And I have a virtual machine in the Azure, which is in the virtual machine VNet in Azure.
Yeah.
If I have express route versus if I have IPsec, is there any difference from computer point of view? Does it look same?
From point.
It's just another VNet.
Latency.
Just latency, right?
In itself is more faster
In express
than
route.
the IPsec VPN. But
Is there any limitation from the networking point of view?
it's not limitation because computer at first a computer to access to the nearest router and the edge router at the customer side to decide the IPsec VPN on there or express route. That's why that's why in terms of the computer,
It doesn't care.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And if you go all the way back to the, sorry, I have so many questions about the networking.
I did Google while you were chatting.
Right.
And it seems if you set up RRAS on a Windows server, which is
RRAS in the Windows
remote
server?
access server.
Okay, so that could be the device,
Then you can do site to site.
side to
To
side.
Azure.
Yeah, from the Windows.
Okay, and
server.
the question is that supported?
This is a Technic Microsoft blog.
Okay.
Ah.
So maybe you can share the link to the meetup later. And yeah, go ahead. And my another question is very the first round of the load balancer part.
Oh, responsive.
Yeah. Sorry, I just have the customer having this question before. I just want to clarify. And all right, so this is a L3, L4 load balancer.
Yes.
The reason why we want to use this is just having the backend service, like the duplicate backend service to like the distribution, right?
Yeah.
Just IP, no application filtering, just round robin
No, hash based. So,
or hash based. Okay.
so load balancer calculates the hash
Mm-hmm.
value from the IP address, port, and protocol number.
Mm-hmm. Is that meaning the same computer going to the backend, or it doesn't matter?
Yes, if the source IP address is not changed, but in the almost cases, source port is changed. So traffic
right.
is distributed on the backend server.
Yeah, true. Okay, so this is a very basic load balancer. If I go into the next one, this is a WAF, right?
Yeah.
And maybe the stupid question, do we using the load balancer and application gateway, or application gateway take care of the load balancer part as well? Do we need to set up both, or we just need to set up application gateway?
Yes, we can use both of them
Mm-hmm.
because we suggest multi-layer defender.
Okay.
I mean the once application gateway and backend servers firewall. So it's
Okay, so putting the application gateway in front and having the internal load balancer between the computers and the application gateway.
yes, it's okay.
If you have best practice, please share later.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think best practice is published on the Microsoft document.
Okay, good.
But I'm sorry.
we can take a look, right? So this is more like the application layer of the load balancing, including the SSL termination, right?
Yes.
All right, and if you go into the next one, this is merely DNS, right? Nothing to do with the load balancing. This is just checking which site is healthy or not, and just get the IP address back from the traffic manager.
Yes, but if we choose load balancing,
Mhm.
for example, if we choose the same priority,
Mm.
this load balancing for round robin,
Mm.
so that's why it can provide load balancing.
Okay, so this is not only regional, but this can only this also can use local.
Yeah.
But once the client caching the IP address and DNS name resolution,
Yeah.
it does not go into the traffic manager.
Yes.
Okay.
So if the failure occurs, it takes 1 hour or 2 hours,
Mm.
depending the TTL.
Okay, so depending on the cache on
Yes,
the client. And once the client lose the cache, then it going back to the DNS server.
Yes.
Okay. So this is not a real-time load balancing.
Yes.
And if you go to the next one,
Thank you for
What's the
questions.
lowest TTL you can put?
1 hour? Well, what's the TTL?
The time to live.
By default, 1 hour.
And what's the shortest?
But I think
But it's more like the
5 seconds.
DNS side of the settings, nothing to do with
it's the
it.
DNS side, but
It's a 15
you know,
minutes?
yeah, I think you said.
Yeah, right. It's not like 1 minute. We don't want people to keep coming back to DNS forever. All right, and my last question is the network security group.
Okay.
So network security group, you said it's mapped to the NIC,
Yes.
meaning if I have 100 VM, do I need to creating 100 NSG or just
Yes.
one NSG to map into 100 NIC?
If you don't map subnet,
Mm-hmm.
you need to each NIC.
Okay, and if I have subnet, I can mapping network security group to a subnet rather than to a NIC.
Yes.
Okay.
But we suggest both of them. We suggest mapped both of them.
Okay, so with a different layer.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, my question has been done and nicely answered.
Thank
Do
you
you
very
have
much.
any other question? Yes, go ahead.
How much cost do I pay for Azure IP sector VPN?
Pay as much as you want. So what's the price? What's the pricing?
It
for
depends
the,
on the SKU, which means
Yeah.
VPN gateways
Is that per hour or the per packets?
per hour.
Per hour. So it's fixed rate.
I think it takes about a couple of 10,000 yen.
Okay, so maybe 100 US dollar or 200 US dollar. It really depends. And yeah, I don't know.
10,000.
Yen
Yeah.
per
Yeah.
hour
No. One
Per
per
month?
1 month.
per 1 month.
Oh,
Per schedule.
10,000 to 100,000.
So it really depends. Is that how much you use it or how many VPN you have? How to calculate? Yeah, there is the Azure calculator, by the way. So yeah, we can take a look with the break time.
But also, can you switch it off if you're not using
So
it?
the question is, can we switch off when we don't use it? But it's networking, right?
But I mean, like if
Yeah,
you're
I know,
only
to save the
using
money,
it for
right?
development or
Can we turn
something
off and on demand? Like
Ah,
you say?
okay. No.
Yeah? No, you cannot, right?
Yes.
Once it's on, it's always on.
Okay.
You can scale down, right?
Yeah, scale down could be. Yeah, scale down could be possible. If it could be scale up.
No, we don't. We
You
can't.
don't? Okay, we don't.
Yeah,
Because we don't scale up, you cannot scale down.
It's fixed.
All right.
That probably would be a good option to have if it's not a
Yeah,
high
that could be
use time
especially for
after
the
hours.
express router, right? Like the end of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah. How do you prevent unsolicited IPs to connect to your VPN gateway?
Sorry, how to secure the
How do you
VPN gateway?
harden the VPN gateway? I just want my IP over the internet to
Mhm.
my VPN gateway. How do you harden the VPN gateway?
But it's a site to site, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about point to site.
Point to site. Okay. Is there any way to prevent from other administrator, right? Other administrator, you want to block your employee to connect into the Azure by using point to site.
I just want my 3 offices
Mhm.
IP to connect to the VPN gateway and no other one, no other IP.
So what's the security model or administration model of this site to site or point to site VPN? It's a RBAC.
Whitelist. Do you have whitelist IPs?
Whitelist IP do you know how we secure?
Can you use network security group with VPN gateway?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Network security groups are. But
So you are saying that if the employee have enough rights to creating point to site or
No, just filtering the IP that can open a VPN session. And I
okay.
I see.
Well, but even though you can creating the connection, we can do the firewall to block it, right?
So would it be similar to like database where you whitelist IPs,
Mm.
IP ranges?
So
And
even
question,
if
not statement.
yeah, but even though you can connect,
Yeah.
you can create a connection, but you cannot talk into it because it's blocked by firewall.
If the IP is blocked, you cannot create the connection, so that's the point.
Yeah.
Hardening the IP address.
Okay.
But I tried to do it actually, I couldn't, but I wanted to pass
Sorry, so if it's a firewall, you cannot even create a connection.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Okay.
I didn't set up the rules, so I think I made something wrong about
Mm.
the firewall settings.
It's interesting because from my understanding, creating something is different from firewall rule. Firewall is just blocking the port.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Maybe we can double check and we can answer that later.
okay.
Any other question? Nope. All right. This is great. And actually, I just asking him to be a presenter 1 week ago. 5 days
Yeah.
ago. Something like that. We are in the same club. We play music together.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I asked.
Yeah.
A few hours back.
All right, so that's a great session. Please give him a big applause again. And now we take a 10 minutes break. Yeah, and we shall start in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, you got an opportunity to have a look at this.
Yeah. そのままで大丈夫。So this is your slide, and you also need to have the demonstration, right? So do you have any VGA? Yep. Or this one?
Ah, yeah.
Okay. And I think it might be a good idea to putting one slide on the one side and the demo on the other side.
Ah, okay.
And which one you prefer to having the demo? Closer to you?
Ah, yeah.
So it's a VGA one, like this? Yep. Cool. Right. Then we start in 10 minutes. Yeah, so 8:30. Is 30 minutes enough for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was basically starting to prepare this just before we left work.
Good setup.
Yeah, I know.
How do you do this one?
I think you can change the. You can zoom on this as well, can't you? Or,
What do you mean, Zoom?
because it might be a bit small.
This one?
Yeah, yeah.
This one is yours, so you need to do it in your side.
Okay, that's what you.
And what do you want to do here?
Just.
So you just go next part. You also use the mouse.
Double mouse.
Yeah.
Can you want to zoom in a little to?
Okay.
And by the way, we cannot broadcast this one.
Oh, okay.
We only broadcasting this.
That's better.
Yeah.
I may be showing something.
Maybe better for you, not better for the So in this screen, you don't have to careful too much.
Okay.
You can show anything. It never
Good.
on the YouTube.
Maybe someone steals this from here and try to connect.
All right. Yeah.
I think you just go to view. On this one, do view.
View?
Does it go down?
Increase size?
Oh yeah. So you can still work too.
Azure の開発と、DevOps ダイナミックス、プラットフォームら辺をデブ。
テラフォームとか IAC とかパイプラインとか CICD とか。
テラフォームはそういう意味で言うと、うちのじゃないので、アームはやりますけど、あとはお客さんも使ってるので、使わない理由は。
ちょっと CICD ツール使ってやつなんですけど。
そこで看板とソースコード管理と、ビルドリリースパイプライン全部ある。
なんかバックログみたいなチケット形式で、なんかデベロップしたら、このコードができる人みたいなチケットバックログみたいいいの。
まず看板する系 IT をやると、看板チキット出す。外国からチキットそれをチェックインしてやってるので、やっぱりなってるやつが、どの看板から来てるか、どのから来てるかっていうのが分かるので、
こういうですね。はい。
リリースがそのビルドに紐づいてるので、そのリリースが、でこのビルドが、
これは出る。なんでブランチは必ず看板から切るよっていうのは、勝手にブランチ切って、名前だけ入れられてもいいしね。はい。なかなかいいツールです。
Yeah, I guess I'm
そして無料です。
なるほど。
そこそこの内容無料で使えるので、GitHub オープンソースで使ってもらって、そのオープンソースで GitHub にマスケートで、Azure でオープン使ってもらえば、ビルドのパイプラインを
組み込めるんですね。リポジトリの調整もできるんですか。
リット対応してる。あとは、昔から報告する感じなので、Git バケット、でもちろん Azure でも、ビルドのファイル、そしてリポジトリや Git で看板だけ使ってもらってもいいし、ソース管理だけで使ってもいいし、パイプラインだけで使ってもいいし、パイプラインはだから Azure、GitHub ファイル、GitHub アクション。
Yeah, no, just talking about my question.
Oh, okay.
この人をされるんじゃないかなという
It's everything.
淡い期待を
Okay. Oh, yeah.
使われるのかな。
Feature requests.
Windows Server used as the
Oh, yeah, I was just kind of skimming over it, so
のが
hopefully
東京で、私は東京では登録されるので、そこは1月
おっしゃってますよね。はい。東京のははい、ここかなと思った。
で、まあ、多分今申し込み3000人までで、2000人は超えてるはずなので、
ああ、もうそろそろやらないと。
そうですね、今切ってて、What time? Oh, yeah.
8:26.
To be honest, until I saw this meeting invite, I don't think I've heard of it.
it's they've integrated it into the cloud shell. So if you use the cloud shell, you can use Terreform as well, which was nice because it is a third-party product. But it seems Microsoft's treating it as a, they're doing a lot with it. It's treating it like a first-class citizen.
Which is always nice.
Yeah.
Just need to know exactly what it's doing.
It's oh well, you'll find out soon. But it's probably an easier for us both. It's not. You can use Terraform with.
So that's why.
I'll shut up.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to say something about it.
Please help me.
You don't want us to list stand up.
Yesterday, I have a question to
Actually, I'm going to have to do some virtual networks soon.
Oh,
Yeah, that was good actually.
But he said
Yeah, we just
need
got Express Route set up recently.
service
We don't actually have any on premise.
That's the nicest way. Yeah.
However, we've still got to be aware of how easily hackable the components are. A lot of them have to be internet facing.
Well, down the end there, the security engineer, so maybe we could request some sessions for what you're doing on Azure and how you're hardening it.
I need to ask about this.
Yeah, probably not now.
Yeah. We're kind of in a situation where.
Okay, so
Alright, shall we start?
Sometimes so much.
Alright, for the time for the next session, please have a seat.
Agility of using it.
Yeah. Another thing is, so you put all the security in, but the developers do
This
need
one?
access to provide things and work out what's going on. So it's-
Yeah, go ahead. If you wait for the
That
people,
whole
you
thing,
never start.
In theory, anybody can go in. Well,
Okay. Hello, good evening. My name is Cole. I'm process office mate. In our company, we're trying to migrate on-prem servers to Azure. So the company has a lot of projects and VMs and stuff like that. So we're slowly putting them in Azure. So yeah, and we're now moving to using Terreform to help us with this effort. So yeah, let's move on. So
What is Terraform, by the way?
Okay.
Is that in the slides or just?
yeah, it's in the
Okay,
slides.
good.
So the pain point is how do you manage resources in a big company? So yeah, as I said a while ago, we have a lot of projects, we have a lot of things in on-prem. So how do you do the audit? Audit means like who, what, when, where. So what's in Azure? When was it deployed? Who did it? And stuff like that. Then next is the approval process. So do we let the project managers spin up instances on their own, or do we have someone overseeing them on what they're trying to do? Next is spinning up multiple similar resources. So it's usually like creating VNets and the IaaS a while ago, right? So creating those stuff. If you do it manually, right, it's easy since the Azure's UX is very nice. But then if you want to do it repetitively, it's gonna be harder, right? And then you don't know also if you're deploying the same thing every time. So, and then the next pain point is we don't want anyone to touch production environment. So so how do we do that? So the solution we did is a mixture of Terraform, Git, Azure DevOps to help us with this solution. So for audit, since we're using Git here, you can see the changes there. You can see, it's only since we're still starting our Terraform journey.
Yeah, by the way, if somebody watching the online, unfortunately we cannot share in the demo screen. We only see the slide. That's because we are not in the room. If you want to see the demo, please come to the room for next time.
Okay, so in the demo screen, you can see the Git history, right? So you get the who, that's me. When did I do it? When did I do the change? And the why. So you can link up Azure DevOps tickets here and other stuff as well. So when there's changes, the Azure DevOps Sprint board is also updated. So that's for audit. Approval.
And there was that nice addition in Azure DevOps, I think. Was it when you can add certain things in the comments to close the tickets?
There's Git comments. You can do a lot of things, closing comments or linking up them to existing tickets, etc. So then for the next one is for the approval process. Since it's in Azure DevOps, we can have a 4i rule. So at least there's not just one person who is approving stuff. So we can set up required reviewers there. So at least there's going to be at least 2 persons who's going to be approving stuff before it applies to Azure. And then next is spinning up multiple similar resources. We talk about later about Terreform modules, where we have reusable stuff. Like they're in code, they're like reusable functions and something like that. So and about not touching production. So with this kind of setup, we won't be needing to give contributor roles to the project owners anymore. So they won't be able to touch or they won't be able to create the new stuff in Azure unless they go through the Git flow or that process. Okay, and next slide. So what is Terraform? It's basically infra code. So if you're familiar with ARM templates, it's generally the same. So it's using HCL language. It's not YAML, it's a little similar to YAML. It's cloud agnostic. You can use it on different clouds. So Azure, AWS, etc., GCP, and
VMware for on-premises too. VMware, I think, as well.
I haven't looked into it. So next, So also it has a cool function where you can import existing resources. It doesn't matter if there's already existing resources in Azure and you want to start using Terraform, so you can start Terraform anytime. So from the start or from in the middle. So that's what Terraform is. So if you're familiar with infra as code, so what we're trying to do is, as infra as code is just text file basically. So it just lists down the resources in a text file. And it represents what's in Azure. So the infra in Azure as code. So what we're trying to do is the principles that we're trying to follow is like if it's not in code, it doesn't exist. The other cool thing is in securities. We specify required approvers by folder files. So maybe. And if you look into the pipelines, so this is Azure DevOps and the demo screen. So here we have the repos and branches. So how do you do the required approvers? You go to the branch, and you go to the branch policies, and you check the things you want to do. So you require a minimum number of reviewers. You want 6 eyes, something like that. And then the cool thing in Azure DevOps is you can so you can have this part. You can filter the folders that you want to review. So, for example, the network folders are need to be approved by network guys, etc., etc. So that's what cool in the Azure DevOps side. And so that's how we do it. And then it won't be created unless reviewers approve the pull request. And in our case, we're trying to push for a self-service kind of environment. So we want the project managers to play around with Terraform, with sandbox accounts, but the final form can then be versioned and committed in Git afterwards. So and if they want to make changes, they go to Git afterwards. And one final thing about infra as code is it's shareable. So we have different projects and that are sometimes trying to do the same thing. So if we put it in one central repository, I think you can imagine this guy did it already. I can just copy his code and stuff like that. Or creating a VM needs to be set. Should be configured like this because of security. So we can just copy it and then we can just reuse it. Compared to before, if projects are isolated, they have to learn their stuff on their own every time. So yeah. Yeah, another benefit of infrastructure, you have versioning. So you can, if you know code, you know the versioning, this aspect of it. So yeah, and automation, creating of 1 to 1,000 is no problem. Then it's also documentation as well. And, and governance of Azure State. Code represents actual state of Azure environment. So I think the difference between ARM templates and Terraform, from what I saw, is Terraform maintains the state. So for example, this is a sample Terraform config. So if you change it to Windows, and do an apply, it will change the underlying infrastructure instead of deleting the stuff and then creating it again. So it looks into the existing state and then applies the changes if you want. Okay, so there's just 4 basic commands for Terraform. There's init, plan, apply, and destroy. So init just just initializes it. Plan is something nice that Terraform did. So if you do a Terraform plan, it compares the actual state with what you have in your config. So if there's something new, it says you're trying to create something new. If you're updating something, it says there's a number of things you're updating. Or if you accidentally commented it out or deleted the file, it says you're trying to destroy these resources. So it's like a verification step. So so before doing the apply, it asks you, "Are you sure?" Something like that. So so how Terraform is there's Terraform modules. So it's a full basically the structure is like there's one file. There's no what they call it, best practice for the naming of the files. So as long as it's in the folder, it will look into that .tf files and just look into what's inside, and then it checks what there's a resource there or something like that. So so something like this. So you can just name it whatever you want. You can group your resource whatever you want. So and stuff like that. So and that's one folder is equal to one module. And you can also import stuff. So if, for example, in this demo, in what we're trying to do, this JP Infra is an all-encompassing Git repository. So these ones are, in the subfolders there is our subscriptions. So in the subscriptions, there's resource groups. So and then when you drill down, in JP Confidential, you have the main.tf where you start off with everything. So there's a provider in the Terraform for the backend. And then it just, if you want to import stuff, you just say module and then the source, where's the thing you're trying to import. And it's just another folder with stuff inside, with resources inside. Okay, and then another nice thing about modules is that you can hook it up to another repository. So this is what we did. So we have a JP Infra for all our stuff, and then there's also a Terraform modules where we can package things together, and then you can tag the versions as well. So for example, in this part, this module, we reference it to this tag. So, so this is a reusable module in here. Resource group. So it's just trying to create a resource group. And if, for example, I want to change the role definition to a reader, and then commit this, the central repository won't be changed since it's fetching the tagged version. So even if we change stuff in the Terreform modules repository, it won't change the existing infrastructure unless we reference that version. Okay. Yeah, Terreform setup, just download AZCLI, download Terreform exe, and then you need in our case we needed the backend storage account to store the TF state. So TF state is just like it's a JSON file which stores the state of what is in the actual Azure infrastructure. So that Terraform security. So we're working for an
Regulated industry.
yeah, regulated industry. So yeah, there's a lot of security stuff there. So we need to think of what we can do to improve our security. So backend storage, there's secrets everywhere. So there's secrets in TF state, and there's secrets in config files. Because, for example, if you go to
About to reveal all
Yeah.
And if you're going, is that role definition name, is that something you defined or is that kind of coming from the Azure?
role
The line
definition,
10, line 10.
line 10.
Yeah, role definition name. What?
This is an Azure role, Azure built-in role.
Okay, okay.
So, so for example, when spinning up a VM, right, you need to put in an admin username and password, right? So, if you do the default way, you put it in the config file. So, but then instead of putting in the config file and putting it in Git and everyone can see it, and all its glory, we need to put them in Key Vault, and then just fetch. Terraform will then fetch the secrets from Key Vault and then use them afterwards. And also, Terraform has this random password. Where is that one? Random password.
So it's not broadcasted, so don't worry too much. Your secret will be kept in this room.
Yeah, so yeah, this is the cool thing about the random password. So it is cryptographically safe. So yeah, so Terraform can generate the password for you. And what's the cool thing of this is since it's auto-generated, no one knows about the password. So it after you create the password, you put it to Key Vault, and then all applications now will fetch from Key Vault instead of someone making something from password 123 and then putting it in the config file and stuff like that.
So is this a Terraform built-in function?
Yeah, it's a Terraform built-in function. And you can change version as well. So if you change the keeper, it will regenerate the password afterwards. If you want to roll the passwords every time. Yeah, so that's secrets. And then, yeah, another thing we want to do is the 4i rule. Yeah, these two people need to prove changes.
Looks like one.
And then what we did, the Azure DevOps setup, yeah, we need to add the Git repo. And since we also created a service connection using a contributor role that is connected to the pipeline. So because the problem is if you don't do the service connection in the pipeline, you need to pass in this ARM subscription ID, client ID as an environment variables to be able to connect to Azure. So and then yeah, branch policies a while ago, which I showed, like required reviewers, folder level reviewers, etc. And then yeah, we're trying to do the pull request thing. So people can't commit directly to master and apply the changes to Azure. So there's going to be a pull request coming in from the project owners. Yeah. And then the pipeline to run the CI/CD to do the apply, which you can all do in DevOps. Nice. So yeah, the flow. Project owners create a feature branch working on it. Once they finish, they create a pull request to the master branch. CI/CD pipeline will validate the syntax and show a report on what will be destroyed, created and updated. Assigned reviewers will review the change and approve the deny comment on the request. So once approved, CI/CD pipeline will apply the changes to Azure. So what does a pull request look like? So yeah. So that is something I should be doing. I should have done it a while ago. So yeah. So this one doesn't the what do you got it? Which way should I? Yeah. Yeah, I think I should do something here. Maybe in there.
I did actually do some work.
It's too much stuff. Yeah, this one maybe. So if you want to do some change, yeah, let's do this. JP Inter. Yeah, you can see there's something you want to change. You can't directly commit to master, so what you want to do is create a branch, create new branch, feature, /test, create a Jacob, and then stage, and test, something, commit to files, push, afterwards, you can see now in the repos, branches. Branches. And yeah, there's a branch a while ago. So what will happen then is this is a different code. That's not me. so what I want to do is create a pull request, new pull request. So I'm asking, please apply changes. Sorry. Okay, and then just do the create, and then it will pop up to me saying, where is that one? Oh, there's a new pull request here. And then this should be the admin's part. So yeah, there's a build in progress. This is just trying to do the validate part. So if the Terreform config is validated or not. Oh no, it failed. So that's okay. So yeah, so in here I can say your code sucks, or something like that. Then if yeah, I think it's too small then. So yeah, the flow is like someone proposes a change, the admins then check if the change is good or not, and then if they're not, then they do the comment thing, and then please use this SKU, or please use the same naming convention and stuff like that, and then it goes around. So the project owners then will do their changes again, and then apply for a pull request, and then once everyone's happy, then it gets merged to master. So that's how we do it. we're trying to do it. Yeah. Yeah. Problems. Yeah. Right now, there's bottlenecks on the reviewers to approve the pull requests, and yeah, we're maintaining the reviewers to folders. Structure is also currently manual, so yeah, there's going to be pain points, and I think if you work on Terraform slowly, you can see that it's not a perfect tool. Yeah, but I think it helps us with move forward with automating stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. Any questions?
All right, I have a question for the. This one. All right, so my question here is basically you are taking this kind of infrastructure as a code, as a very normal code, right? And you're mentioning there is a kind of build pipeline. And can I take a look at the build pipeline if you don't mind?
Yep. Okay. So yeah, it's here. So there's the plan phase where it's run when someone commits to a feature branch, and then
So meaning you have like Terraform the task.
Yes.
Is that the kind of on the marketplace?
It's a Microsoft. It was recently.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
And is that
Microsoft
for
market.
the what is that? Because it does not release into the Azure because we are not creating the resource. It's validation is the one, right?
Yeah. Have you,
What kind of build is actually doing?
Yes, the Terra. It's from Microsoft, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
So I should be aware.
Yeah. Is
Or
here?
manage extensions.
Manage extension. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to know if the build pipeline does the validation or actually generating new file by combining the parameter to the actual value.
Don't worry searching there because
It's
just
already
scroll down.
sold, yeah.
Scroll down. There's not that many that we've got.
Microsoft by Terra.
So that hadn't been out for too long, I think, when we used it.
Do you know what kind of the tasks they have at this
Click
moment?
on that, and then you should be able to.
To see.
Now, if you
Marketplace.
just click on Marketplace now, yeah, and it'll take you to that.
So it also do the init as a. Yeah, so to install a task, yeah, so installing the Terraform tools, yeah. And if you scroll down, Terraform task, what kind of task it has? So how to provide the configuration command, configuration directory, command argument. But so this is more like actually deploying to the Azure, right?
Yeah, when you do the apply and do deploy it to Azure.
So it's more like a release pipeline in that case.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, does make sense.
Yeah, one of the best things with Terraform was that state file, the way that any changes to your code will just then be reflected.
Right.
That's something that unfortunately is missing.
Unfortunately, or maybe on purpose, I don't know.
Yeah. Fortunately for Azure.
Yeah, I think this is a great tool to invest, right? And another thing I want to ask is, if you go back to your Visual Studio Code, I see you have the Terraform add-in, right?
Yeah.
On the left-hand side. Yeah. So add-in gives you the interface and what kind of another function or the feature this guy. What's the list? Where you get this list from?
No, I haven't done this one. I just installed it for the code highlighting.
Code highlighting. Okay,
And
so
the autocomplete stuff.
so code highlighting and the autocomplete. Okay. Do they have any like the out-of-box template, like the 3 VM setup kind of stuff, like the quick start?
Yeah, actually, the documentation on HashiCorp site's really good. Have you got that open?
So it's the Terraform IO.
Yeah, this one's for key secret, but they also have like what do you call it, an NPM for Terraform modules. So there's a Terraform repo.
So they have a bunch of the ecosystem already.
Yeah, and some people just put stuff in GitHub and then just publish it to the Terreform registry.
So there are so many places to start from, right? Jump start.
Yeah.
Cool.
But if you go back to the oh, search that.
So this is a registry, so there's already built-in modules.
Okay. So these are the kind of template.
Yeah.
Template. Okay.
But yeah, just even on the documentation side.
The docs.
And then you scroll down a little. Yeah, you'll have all your
Okay,
services
so I
on the
did the
left
other
there,
ones.
and it'll-
Right, cool, sounds good. Right. Okay, I want some more information that as you may or may not know, that the Azure DevOps gives the control for the master branch check-in. So you can just prohibit from people to directly check into the master. Any other question or any other addition? No?
I was just going to, and it's available in Cloud Shell, so you can run it directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much Microsoft as well. All right, thank you. Please give a big applause for the speaker. All right, thank you. All right, so basically that's it for this month. And one thing we need to know, I need to do is I need your name and as usual, and I also need to take a picture of you. And next one, I am not setting out the date yet, but because we have Ignite, I think we may have a bunch of the update next time. So we will think about what kind of session we have, or maybe we do the Ignite special kind of stuff. But anyway, so and please ask your friend to come in, not only because we have sushi, but also we want to keep the community running. Yeah, but I really appreciate for you to come in tonight. And let me just pause the YouTube side. All right, so goodbye YouTube, good night. All right, end the stream.